For more than a century now, scientists have been working on the use of quantum mechanics and using general relativity to find out more about how the elements in the universe interact. But at times we come across certain abnormal happenings where one thinks they're witnessing magic, or maybe an extreme form of computer-generated graphics or imagery. We can see strange things like people touching clouds, kitty cat clones, waterfalls that flow upwards, and cooking classes in space. Let's talk about the craziest things that defy the laws of physics. Cat clones. These 5 cats in St. Petersburg, Russia are blowing the mind of everyone with their unprecedented mirror act entirely in sync, as if one cat was digitally reproduced. Well, they all in reality look similar. A female cat can breed numerous times with different males, and once their eggs are released from her ovaries, a process is triggered during mating. The male's sperm is trapped in the female's reproductive tract, and here it can fertilize the eggs, leading to the potential for multiple donors. If female cats mate with males of the same breed, it'll be impossible to know certainly that this happened because of the physical characteristics, as it would be extremely difficult to differentiate from one or the other mating partner. The only way to confirm the parentage of the kitten is DNA testing. Cooking oil laminar flow. One can say scientifically that the cooking oil flow in this clip shows a type of flow pattern, but all its particles are flowing in parallel lines, which is not similar to other liquids. This phenomenon is called the laminar flow. It's manifested in fluids and gases. In laminar flow liquids, they travel smoothly or in regular paths, compared to the turbulent flow in which the fluid undergoes irregular fluctuations in mixing. Laminar flow is measured by the ratio between velocity and viscosity. The more viscous or thick the fluid is, the faster it can flow without facing turbulence or sputtering. Some other examples of laminar flow are syrup and honey flowing out of nozzles as the liquid is very thick or viscous. In everyday life, the laminar flow has important applications. Smooth aeroplane flight occurs when the flow of air over an aircraft's wing is laminar. Blood flowing through our bodies does the same thing. Well of death. This well of death stunt defies gravity as well as death. One happens to see this at various carnivals or melas across the Indian subcontinent. The stunt takes place in a wooden cylinder-shaped barrel or an inverted cone approximately 30 to 50 feet in diameter. Inside the cone, motorcyclists are occasionally car drivers that drive at breakneck speeds along the vertical wall. The motorcycle or car is held in place just by centrifugal force. Centrifugal and centripetal forces are experienced by rotating objects. The centripetal force keeps an object moving in a circle and is always pointed towards the center of the circle. What makes this act extremely dangerous in India is the blatant disregard for safety. Bird glitch. Take a look at this video that went viral on TikTok. You can see something unbelievable. The crowd was gathered to film this mysterious bird glitch. A similar bizarre clip was shared by someone online which showed a bird suspended in the air near some overhead wires in Gallen, New Mexico. Throughout the 15-second clip, the seeming bird-like object remains static. A study by Stanford University has highlighted that birds can remain motionless in the air as long as they fly into the wind at a speed equal to that of the wind. While flying with headwinds, birds can perform stationary flying. Some other people had a valid explanation for the second bird that it was stuck by thin wires that are not visible in the video. Reverse waterfall. In different parts of the world, some waterfalls flow in the reverse direction and are known as upside-down waterfalls. It's caused by the strong force of the wind which pushes the gushing water upwards. One of the most popular reverse waterfalls is located about a 3-hour journey from Mumbai and 50 miles from Pune city in India. It's known as Maharashtra's Grand Canyon. Sanhan Valley has the preferred destination for trekkers. The waterfall here flows in a reverse direction. Most interestingly, this trekking route used to be a trade route several centuries ago, and there are ancient caves and rock-cut pots that attract a lot of visitors annually. This rare phenomenon of reverse waterfall occurs only during the monsoon. Magic mirror. The Chinese magic mirrors are made of polished bronze and have a design on the back. It looks similar to any ordinary bronze mirror, but when the sun shines on its face and the reflected light is projected, patterns and inscriptions can be seen on the back of the mirror, which appears in the projection as if through magic. The first recorded use of these mirrors seems to date back to around 200 BC in China. Recently, scientists managed to solve the mystery of these mirrors. These mirrors are cast as a liquid into a mold, and different levels in the pattern cool at different rates. On cooling down, the metal slightly contracts, and during the process of cooling at different rates, stretches or deforms the metal a little bit. Although the slight patterns formed on the mirror surface are not visible to us, photons can pick them up quite decently. Therefore, when a mirror reflects bright sunlight against the wall, the whole image is seen magnified. Resultantly, it reproduces the patterns as if they were passing through the solid bronze by way of light beams. Gravity-defying goats. Alpine ibex or mountain goats roam around at rocky terrain above the tree line about thousands of feet above sea level at Sanguino Dam in northern Italy. However, they can't live there all the time as they cannot find food up there. These gravity-defying goats move there daily after scaling the sides of a nearly vertical 160-foot dam and lick the walls. Like several other herbivores, these goats lack salt and other necessary minerals in their diet, which they cannot get from grass. Therefore, the ibex has to search for natural salt, and dam walls have this. The ibex climbs the vertical walls of the dam by using the small protruding boulders as a foothold to lick salt off the wall surface. Their soft, split hooves can grip any surface like a pincer. Space cooking. This astronaut shows us how she assembles whole rice with peas and chicken turmeric in microgravity with a bit of help from tortilla plates. She has a recipe prepared in pouches by a chef for her to enjoy during a long-duration mission on the International Space Station. A space station kitchen cannot quite be elaborate as practically all foods are ready to eat. A small gallery in the shuttle's mid-deck houses a rehydration station that dispenses hot and cold water for rehydrating foods and drinks. The astronaut uses forced air convection to heat the meals. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to heat a meal. Each astronaut has a separate meal tray that holds the food containers. Keeping in view the long stay, astronauts carry ready-to-eat foods having shelf life between 3 to 5 years. The Butterball. This huge boulder seems to be frozen in motion while it was rolling down the hill. It's eternally perched on a steep rock slope in a historic town in India. It's known as Krishna's Butterball and defies gravity. Its Hindu name translates to Sky God Stone. The name Butterball was given by a local tour guide. As per Hindu mythology, when the great god Krishna was a baby, he was fond of stealing butter. No one so far has been able to move the buttery boulder, which is estimated to weigh over 250 tons and measures approximately 19.6 feet in height and 16.4 feet in diameter. The boulder sits on a 45-degree slope and comes into contact with the surface of the hill only in a very small area. Some people speculate that the rock was formed naturally. Performance art or magic? Johann Lorbeer, a German artist, focuses on the phenomenon of perception. You can see it's a showstopper, and his performances fall on the borderline between image and presentation. They stimulate the viewers through their apparent incompatibility with everything known about gravity. Many of his performances place Lorbeer in an apparently impossible position, such as standing horizontally out from a wall above the street, or suspended mid-air while leaning against a wall with one hand. He seems to be able to levitate a couple of meters off the ground next to a building. His performance art has been displayed throughout the world. He started developing his skills in the 1970s. His installations include the working-class hero and Tarzan's standing leg. Water dancing. This amazing video shows the moment when a water droplet bounces on a surface and it spins more than 7,300 revolutions per minute. The properties of water droplets change depending on the type of surface it hits. Therefore, scientists have manipulated this process to make them gyrate. The translational motion of an impacting droplet can be converted to gyration with a maximum rotational speed surpassing 7,300 revolutions per minute. They were successful in making water droplets spin at extreme speeds by making a heterogeneous surface which is formed of two separate chemicals weaved together to form a single surface. A multitude of forces are exerted on the water as it strikes against the surface, and instead of scattering randomly, it behaves unexpectedly on such a surface. Researchers call this manifestation non-axis symmetric spinning forces. The research can offer opportunities for energy collection, self-cleaning, and anti-icing. Hands-free rock climbing. Johnny Dawes is a famous rock climber and has been getting immense attention in the recent past for his free-handed climbing feats. He's also known as a stone monkey for his dynamic rock climbing style and brave ascents. The English rock climber has dedicated himself to the esoteric discipline known as no-handed climbing. He came to prominence in 1986 for his ascent to the Indian face of the first E9 graded traditional rock route in Britain. It probably took him years to perfect his art, and we can only dream of performing something so difficult. The Mystery Spot. At this Santa Cruz mystery spot, balls roll uphill, chairs sit on walls, and people lean over but they don't fall. It was discovered in 1939. Things appear to be falling over and pulled down by gravitational forces. While standing in the slanted cavern, the perpetual distortion actually doubles. Some people speculate that cones of metal were secretly brought here and buried in our Earth as guidance systems for spacecraft belonging to aliens. Some think that it is the spacecraft itself buried deep inside the ground. Other theories include carbon dioxide permeating from the Earth, a hole in the ozone layer, a magma vortex, biocosmic radiation, and radiostega. However, the phenomenon causing objects to behave in this strange manner remains a mystery even today. No shadows. The phenomenon is called Lahaina Noon, and the term was coined by a museum in Hawaii. The name was chosen in a contest and means Crew's Sun in the Hawaiian language. You can see that the shadows of objects have disappeared. It is a semi-annual tropical phenomenon, as Hawaii and other locations between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn receive the sun rays directly as the apparent path of the sun passes overhead before and after the summer solstice. The time when the sun culminates at its zenith is called solar noon. At that time, the stationary objects that stand straight up, such as flagpoles, telephone poles, etc., cast no outward shadow. It can occur at any moment between 12:16 to 12:43 p.m. and it takes place twice a year in tropical areas. The ancient name for the event translates as the sun resting on the brains. Historically, at this time, certain cultural rituals were planned. Natives believe that this time is a great time of spiritual powers when shadows retreat into the body. Mysterious clouds in Morocco. Clouds contain drops of water which are too small to be seen, as they are in the form of gas, also called water vapors. As the water vapors rise higher up in the sky, the air becomes cooler, which causes water droplets to start to stick to things such as bits of dust, ice, or sea salt. In this clip, it appears that the sky is literally falling. This person has grabbed a handful of clouds that cling to his arm like salt in a bubble bath. Weather enthusiasts were left debating the cause of this weird happening. The mysterious white sticky matter settling across the coastal belt in Morocco quickly went viral throughout the world. The same weird phenomenon was also filmed in Saudi Arabia. The locals definitely enjoyed this strange phenomenon and filmed themselves playing with the clouds. We hope you guys enjoyed these clips depicting people and objects defying laws of physics. What are your thoughts on these? Tell us in the comments below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more.